With Gina.
The news with Gina Grad.
I want to tell everyone I'm going to do a live unprepared, sort of quarantine unprepared on our YouTube channel, I think next week. So you guys go to our YouTube channel. We'll keep you posted.
Yeah, if you subscribe, you'll get an alert when we do it. But it's looking like Monday morning.
Okay, good.
Well, a couple of sad, semi-breaking, although not entirely breaking news at this point. Little Richard passed away over the weekend, age 87. His son, Danny Penniman, confirmed the death, didn't disclose the cause. He was born Richard Penniman, May 5th, 1932, Macon, Georgia, inaugural Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductee in 1986. And, of course, known for his sort of over-the-top, distinct style, sexual ambiguity. Huge influence on the Beatles and many others. And Brian, I couldn't help but think of you when I got this news because my first thought was Little Richard was still alive.
Yeah, he was the MVP of the All-Star team. They're still alive All-Star team. I told people years ago, go out and win some bets because no one knows Little Richard's still alive.
Did he hurt his cause as a genius, a musical genius? And sorry, Gina, but a sort of little Dolly Parton-esque where the character overshadowed the musicianship in people's minds?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Well, he was always that way, though, from the jump with the white pancake makeup. He's always been that way. If it didn't stop guys like McCartney and Jagger and Bowie and all these people saying he's the reason why they do what they do. So,
well, yes, and to your point, think of Bowie. I mean, you put on a leotard and paint your face, and nobody questioned.
I met Little Richard 10 years ago. I couldn't more, maybe 15. I went to Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles.
What?
Stop it!
What's a black man hanging out? Okay,
I lived not far from there, and he was in the back in a pink suit with a bunch of Bibles on the back table.
Cooking.
And I don't, maybe he was about to run a sermon, but he looked just as insane as you could imagine. I didn't go up and talk to him, but I couldn't believe he was just sitting there in a pink suit with a bunch of Bibles. My father, he was a crazy person, but I mean, let's say one thing. Can we just say one thing? What do you have, 5 songs?
He had Tutti Frutti. He had Long Tall Sally.
Good Golly Miss Molly.
Good Golly Miss Molly.
I mean, can we get like 25 songs, but apparently 5 songs is enough to be a legend forever? I don't know. Well, I need a few more.
AJ, but that's an era when most people had 1 or 2 songs. So the fact that Little Richard was as influential as he was, but to Adam's,
and a crossover hit at the time.
Yeah, but to Adam's point, like once the Beatles kind of eclipsed him in popularity doing his music, essentially, he did become more of a caricature to most people. You know what I mean? Known for being Little Richard than for the music.
Sure, he was. He was a character, yeah.
I saw a clip of him playing, and one song we forgot, Keep a Knockin', But You Can't Come In, on
I forgot about that.
That was on Full House. He was playing on Full House. That's the whole thing. Well, so it's interesting because you brought up Bowie. So you think of Bowie and you go, well, that guy's an innovator. You know, that guy's on the vanguard or whatever. And so he gets points for the crazy makeup and the costumes and everything. But you can also deduct points for it too. So but it's all a construct of our own mind. It's like Madonna, she gets points, and Bowie, he gets points. But Little Richard, we deduct points because I guess he didn't evolve or didn't change, or I don't know how our minds work. But either way,
he was who he was from the beginning, and he stayed that way. He never wavered. He was just that way. You know, he never had Prince, Boy George, Bruno Mars, even, Jimi Hendrix played with him. A lot of people just give it up to him as the main guy, the architect of rock and roll.
All right. Well, he shall be missed.
Another sad death. Roy Horn of the famous Las Vegas performance duo Siegfried and Roy has died of complications of the coronavirus. He was 75. German-born entertainer, along with Siegfried Fischbacher, probably a lot of people didn't know his last name, became a top attraction on the Vegas Strip many years. Of course, known for the white lions and the dazzling costumes and the magic. Horn was nearly killed, I'm sure you'll remember, in 2003 when his tiger Montecore attacked him on stage. Yeah. The incident put an end to the show. I don't believe it was ever performed again. And Horn's manager says there will be no memorial service because of the coronavirus, health threats. So they're putting all that, they're postponing.
Do you guys think the Tigers hang out like hard guys do in prison and kind of brag I killed a cop, I killed a cop, or I killed that guy, I killed that gangbanger, whatever it is. And so that lion or that tiger goes, oh yeah, I killed a man, I killed this dude, I killed Roy. And then some other tiger goes, he died 17 years later. But he was compromised. He was compromised because of what I did.
Because of me.
Listen, he was gay and he was a magician. He's not a gangbanger, so calm down.
Well, it's like Chris Rock said about that incident. The tiger didn't go crazy. The tiger went tiger. The tiger went crazy when you put him on a unicycle and made him wear a funny hat.
Right.
Also, he did something wrong that day. If I remember the story, he did something wrong that they didn't do before, and his partner ran off stage apparently because he was kind of alarmed at what might happen. I forget, but I read the story back then, and it appeared that he may have done something a little bit too aggressive to the tiger. The tiger just said, "Enough of this shit,"
I like I said, I dragged David Allen Greer. I can't think of who else. I don't for some reason don't remember if Jimmy came with us. I don't remember. I don't think Jimmy came with us. I was in Vegas doing Crank Yankers, and I was like, we're going to see Siegfried and Roy. And David Allen Greer was like, no, we're not. This is 2003, or 2002. I mean, this is 6 months before this thing. It could have been 3 months. And I was like, we are going to see Siegfried and Roy. And he was like, no, we're not. We're going to a strip club. And I was like, we'll go to a strip club after we see Siegfried and Roy. And he said, why? It's so lame. And I said, there was a time in 1976 when someone was talking about seeing Elvis, and the other person was going, come on, let's see the Lovin' Spoonful. That's a real band. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Elvis is so old and lame, and I said, they will be glad. They're glad that they went and saw Elvis, and we'll be glad we saw Siegfried and Roy. And I stand by.
And, we'll never know what Roy felt about Tiger King.
True. That's very true.
He's the original Tiger King. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
you're absolutely right. And to your point, we were talking about that on KFI the other night and thought, will there be another Siegfried and Roy type act? And I said, not after Tiger King. People
no way. Yeah, people don't want to see that anymore. People don't want to see that. Nah.
No,
I think you're right.
That's over.
There was a guy named Barrisino, I think, who had orangutans, and he got busted for beating on them. It was a big act back when people had orangutans, back in the day. Tony Barrisino. Oh, we've looked it up before, but sorry, my camera went out. But we've looked it up before where the guy is a famous guy, had an orangutan act. It's always they're either beating on them or making sweet love to them. It's never a good thing. It's never a good thing. Reverse orangutan.
Right. No, it was when reverse orangutan. Remember Clint Eastwood, Every Which Way But Loose?
Yes.
It probably was that era, right, where orangutans were in movies.
Bobby Barrisini, Maxipad, would be this dude's name and his orangutans, and they loved it. God. Everyone loved it, but it never works out. Everyone's miserable. Look, go ahead and do magic. Just minus the rhino or the tiger, whatever it is. Just do magic.
Stick with Penn and Teller. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
It's not like I do comedy riding a llama. I'm like, I'll just do comedy. This is going to be comedy. How about that?
I know. Copperfield does fine.
Yeah,
Copperfield's fine. Yeah, I know. Doesn't make any sense.
But Seinfeld does well, too. You just stand there and you tell a joke. You entertain the people that way. Bobby Barrisini.
Yeah, so in '89, a Stardust dancer secretly videotaped Barrisini grabbing, slapping, punching, and shaking his orangutans before going on stage with them. The dancer sent the tapes to PETA, and
God.
And
you can't do that.
Yeah, he got in trouble.
You can't slap an orangutan.
Who the hell has the balls to shake an orangutan and slap him? Are you kidding me?
But
that's dangerous.
Barrisini sued the dancer. PETA, and another animal rights group, and a jury found in favor of Barricini and awarded him $3.1 million in damages.
Whoa!
He got paid to beat an animal?
Well, he didn't initially. He didn't get the money up front, but later on.
It was a deferred paycheck.
This guy sounds like a real piece of shit, man.
Jeez, anyone have a
a
baboon I could beat on? Man, I could use a payday.
I'm sorry. I will go full Cecil the Lion here. I am outraged and disgusted.
I know. And this
beat
this. And what about the poor showgirl, the whistleblower? And listen, and don't do that thing. Don't go. Don't call it an orangutan blower, or don't even go there. Just say keep it at whistle. I know it's tempting.
Wasn't part of the act.
Monkey blower, ape blower, but she's a fine girl. People are going to get the wrong. They're going to get the wrong picture in their head.
Then PETA subsequently alleged that Barricini had moved more than $2 million out of the country to avoid paying court costs. So Barricini and PETA agreed to a settlement in which Barricini paid $340,000 in court costs and interest, and 2 years later he was ordered to pay 3 law firms $250,000 for the time they spent trying to find the $2 million.
I hate this guy.
So
sounds like a good dude.
This guy's amazing.
He was a big 70s. He'd show up on those variety shows. He'd probably be on Sonny and Cher and the Osmonds. I was like, Bobby Barricini and his orangutans. He'd come out there all laughing like Ellen.
Yeah. He was doing blow back then, too. He was all jacked up and knocking orangutans around.
And also, we don't know the full story. Was the orangutan, eyeballing him? Was he not?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Was he giving him a hard time?
Yeah.
We don't know.
You're right. I jumped to conclusions.
So in '93, Barricini, in an interview, said that he and his wife have received numerous death threats against themselves and their orangutans for the middle of the night. Or in the middle of the night. He also said that he had to shop at a different supermarket every day for several months due to the threats.
Hold on. But you know what the tell was? He always bought 80 pounds of raw yams. I was like, wait a minute.
Stop that.
47 bunches of bananas.
Yeah. There's a guy over here buying lox and currants. And leave him alone. We look for the yam. You're looking for the yam guy. Guy comes in.
45 pounds of grub.
Look at that guy. He's got a fake mustache and a satchel of yams over his shoulder. Let's get him. Well, is Barricini still alive?
It doesn't say here, so I'll find out. But he's part of a whole Czech family of circus performers. His brother, it looks like, was the fastest club juggler in the world. In the world record holding
that's saying
juggler.
Something.
So yeah, his brother is just an amazing juggler. So
that's what Donkey Kong is based on his life.
So Barricini, does that film exist? Did anyone ever put that up on the internet?
I'd love that.
So the showgirl sees that he's abusing these animals. She probably is working the act with him. She probably saw it 5 nights in a row, and on the 6th night, she brought in the camcorder, right?
Yeah, because this is an era before, obviously, cell phones and before anything small. She had to. That took some work, but
it's like a sting operation.
Yeah, tracked down a camera.
Yeah. There was no, there was no camcorders back then.
Well, there was in 90. What was it, 93?
Oh, I thought it was in 70.
Me too. I thought.
No, you said 70s.
No, 93 was the interview that he did where he couldn't
sorry.
go outside. But I found some video. I'll put it up. It's
what year was the video from?
Oh, wow.
Screw that up.
The video is from 89.
Oh, 89.
Oh, okay.
All right, so just the beginning.
Oh, there was he's the big old VCR camera.
Yeah, when you wear the VCR on your back. I'm not watching this.
Yeah.
It's just kind of weird footage dark footage of him.
It's hard.
Mussing up the.
I don't know. What do I know what it takes to control a bunch of orangutans? Maybe you got to smack around a little bit. What do I know?
Stop defending him.
Well, anyway, his career was cut short, but he gave it to PETA, but then they sued and made money. It's a crazy world.
No, Bobby Barricini's his quote was to PETA. He said, "These orangutans are banging cocktail waitresses 3 at a time. I got to smack them around once in a while."
There you go.
Mo Green.
Nice.
That's right, Fredo.
Yeah. All right. What else we got, Gina? Sorry for that.
The aide to Vice President Mike Pence, who's tested positive for coronavirus, is his press secretary, Katie Miller. Miller, also the wife of Stephen Miller, who's a close advisor to President Trump, Jared Kushner, Ivanka Trump. No word on whether he's tested positive. The president told reporters Friday she's a wonderful young woman. He's not in very close contact with her. And Vice President says he has tested negative for COVID-19. But it sounds like a lot of people around that orbit, at least a few are publicly
getting closer. The reporters in the White House briefing room have their fingers crossed that Stephen Miller is going to come down with it too. They can't stand him.
Oh, they can't.
Can't stand that guy.
Seems like a good dude.
Yeah,
I didn't even know which one he is. Which one is
he? He writes speeches for Trump. He's a lot of things Trump has said. Miller's been responsible for.
Oh, Adam, he's an example. He's an example of people's like when people are thinking evil thoughts, their face looks evil.
Yeah. He's like Pauly Shore's bad.
Good, very good. Yeah,
that's kind of what he looks like.
Huh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he's thinking about something scary.
Oh, the hair incident was the best because he's obviously going bald and he full on painted on some hair for an interview.
Yeah,
the bottom left.
No, really?
Oh, it was. Chris, blow that up. He painted on some hair for a TV interview, and it was so bad.
That's some Ron Popeil level.
God.
Top coverage.
What's he doing?
Yeah,
it doesn't even match.
That's terrible. Trump said, "You look terrific. Keep it up, Steve." That's such a bad look.
I'm glad you said that, AJ, because I don't know if anyone caught the finale, the season finale of SNL, but there was a great bit where Baldwin came back to be Trump giving an online commencement speech to the class of 2020.
That was funny.
I pulled a clip of it if you want to see it. It's about a minute or so.
Yeah.
What incredible energy and excitement I'm feeling right now. Now, my valet got the virus, so I had to do my own makeup. I had to resort to a Liza Minnelli TikTok makeup tutorial. I'm so honored to be your valedictator, but today is not about me. It's about you. Although I should spend a little time on me first because I've been treated very poorly. Even worse than they treated Lincoln.
I'm sorry, wasn't Lincoln assassinated?
I'm not taking questions, Bebop. I'm only telling you the truth. Lincoln would agree. He's probably smiling up at me from hell right now.
Hey, what is this, dude?
Hey, let's mute him. Let's mute a lot of the jazz types.
Oh, no,
jazz types.
Great. You're actually lucky to be graduating right now. There are so many exciting new jobs out there, like grocery store bouncer, cam girl, porch pirate, amateur nurse, and coal. Don't forget about coal. It's in the ground, and you just dig down and grab it.
I don't want to do that.
And I'm going to make sure colleges are open in the fall. Online college is a scam, and I should know my online college was ranked #1 craziest scam by U.S. News. Every year it was open.
Yo, we want Fauci!
Oh, sure. Everyone loves Fauci.
Fauci!
And don't you hate when these elite medical experts tell you what to do? Just, excuse me.
Drinking Clorox.
Good old invincibility juice. Ew. Cheers to you guys.
Yeah, it was a funny bit and a good example of how you can take that format and make it work.
Yes,
it doesn't have to be a liability if you come up with something that works for that format, and that worked perfectly.
Yeah,
but you know what's not working is the weekend update. It never hits the mark. The last few times they've done it,
I haven't seen it in a while, so I'm
at least they got their green screen. I mean, they're doing what they can.
Yeah.
Remember, there was an episode where they let a few people in to, unmuted them so they could laugh just to see if that would work. They're doing their best. It's very tough.
Yeah. I did stand up with nobody at the Laugh Factory a few weeks ago with nobody in the room, and it is damn weird.
That's tough.
It is. I went home. Tough. I beat the shit out of my orangutan. I'm so upset. I didn't. You know
what? Bill Maher. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say. I know people look at my Instagram and they love Duchess, and she's a delight. But I took it out on her that night. Sorry. Go ahead, Bill Maher. Bill Maher.
No, I say Bill Maher. He's gotten it right so far with his real-time show because he uses stock footage of audiences laughing in an arena from like the 60s. He's got people dressed in raincoats because they're watching Gallagher. So when they go to laugh, they throw it to this stock footage of an audience. That to me works. It's corny, it's stupid, it makes you laugh watching it. But when you got nothing, and the guys on Weekend Update tell a joke and there's no sound, even Fallon, Kimmel does okay, but Colbert and Myers, it's awful. I can't listen to it.
Well,
it's not their fault. It just doesn't work.
I agree. We're so rhythmically trained. Speaking of Maher, I thought I saw a tweet earlier that Rose McGowan me too'd him, but it was like for whispering something in her ear.
He leaned during a politically incorrect in the 90s. She says he leaned over to her and said in a commercial break, "My parents didn't give me much in the face department, but I'm hung like a horse." In so many words. Now he's bringing this up 20 some odd years later. I can't wait for Dunnigan to do it because Bill and I have had the same girlfriends over the years. He is hung like a horse. That's true.
Oh, really?
So Rose wasn't lying. He may have said that, but I know he was joking because Rose is the wrong color for Bill.
Well, also, there's a little bit of this. We were just kind of talking about Natalie Woods having sex with her 44-year-old director, and God knows what Warren Beatty was up to back in the day and everything else. It's hard to retroactively go back and do things. Like, I'll put it to you this way. You would be arrested if you lit a cigarette on a commercial airline flight in 2020.
100%.
But in the 60s and in the 70s and even into the 80s, people smoked routinely.
Yeah.
So it's like, it'd be like finding a picture of you smoking on a flight from the 80s and then pulling it out and going, oh my God, can you believe what this guy did? It's like people did things. People would refer to African Americans as Negroes. That's what they did in the 60s. So it's like you saying this guy called a black person a Negro. It's like, yeah, but within the context of the time when people were doing it. Now, that doesn't mean you're allowed to drop digits on people, and doesn't mean you're allowed to grab them by the pussy or any of that. But the stuff that people used to say was considered funny most of the time, had a context to it, and was pretty regular fare, stuff that happened. So to pull stuff that was kind of a norm from the 90s and then 20 some odd years later trot it out, to me that stuff does have an expiration date.
Well, and like, what? I mean, not that he would care if he was still alive, but think of how Don Rickles' life would have been destroyed if you just played his stuff.
Oh, my God.
He wouldn't have a chance.
Could you imagine?
I could not imagine.
Oh.
This is,
the Dean Martin roast, they would have went to jail. Yeah.
That's right. Here's the Rose McGowan tweet we're looking at. I guess here's a memory I'd like to share with you. I bet you don't remember, Bill, but I sure do. I was so excited to be on your show, get to flex my mind instead of my face. Here's what happened. All I could say, Bill, you got the face you deserved. And she says, I was on your show, Politically Correct, in the 90s. As the show returned from a commercial break, you leaned over to me and whispered in my ear, my parents didn't give me a good face, but they did give me a huge cock. I could feel your hot breath on my ear as an image of both your hideous face and alleged big cock flashed in my mind. Both turned my stomach. I've always wondered what you say and do to the girls that aren't famous.
I wish Bill Maher has proof that he banged her and he can produce that proof. I would love that.
I would watch that like a Barricini monkey beating video over and over again.
Yeah.
Number one.
Right?
A monkey would get beaten.
And he may have a big cock, but big enough to turn her stomach. That's a long way to go.
This
is a girl that dated Marilyn Manson, who is not exactly the model man to be seen with.
If you find pictures of her from like the MTV Music Awards with Marilyn Manson, like I remember going, I think it was at Universal that year, but I seem to remember 2000.
Was that where that iconic sort of fishnet thing?
Yeah, see-through.
Yeah, it was like a chainmail ass thing or whatever it is, and 1998, VMAs. Yeah, I think I went to that with Drew, as I recall. It was Universal Studios or Universal Sheridan or whatever the venue was over there. But either way, time's a fucking bitch.
Yeah, there. Whoa!
Wow.
Yeah, Rose was hot. She was hot shit. But if anybody thought she'd be happy once Harvey Weinstein got put away, you were wrong. She still has something to bitch about because she has no career. No one's going to hire her for a movie or a TV show. So what she does, she sits home at night and just decides she's going to keep outing people for their behavior 25 years ago. It's fucking ridiculous.
Well, also, when you look like that and you dress like that, a lot of folks probably have said things to you throughout your 20s and early 30s. And now your job is to sit home over a glass of Chardonnay and see if you can summon some of those up. But also, I don't know. People have to... They have to bale some hay and go mend a fence and go patch a roof or something. Like, people need to physically get out and go engage and do something. She's clearly just spending too much time with herself.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. God, wouldn't you be scared to have sex with her?
Now I would, not 25 years ago.
No.
Now I would not go near her.
All right.
No, but
that's for the best, because traces of COVID-19, the coronavirus, of course, have been found in semen of some severely infected men, raising the possibility the virus might be considered an STD in some ways, according to a new study out of China. Researchers found evidence of the virus in 6 men out of a group of 38, so it's still relatively low at a hospital. It's not surprising the virus was found in semen samples, since it's also been found in stool. That's according to the Cleveland Clinic. Whoever got that job to go sewage diving, check for deadly disease.
I'd like to get the semen guy and the stool guy in the same elevator, and have the semen guys like, go. You think you got a bad job?
Bad, yeah.
What do you do? Work at a restaurant or a supermarket, or what are you?
Buddy, whatever you're about to say, I promise I can top it.
I don't think so, man.
Mike Rose, phone rings. We got a new dirty job for you.
You know why I just wear the one glove on my good hand? You know why? Because I have to harvest samples. Now, there's a thing where they go, couldn't the guy do it himself, like a fraternity clinic? You know what I mean? But we got to prove it. We got to make sure. We got to verify. So I got to.
God.
Yeah. All right. Sorry. What else?
So that's cool. So this is. Yeah.
I wanted to say, I forgot to give a plug for AJ over here. You can sign up for my monthly nut at CarollaDrinks.com, and you get a audio copy this month. I mean, we're going to include a copy of AJ's audiobook, 74 and Sunny, and then we're also going to throw in a free audiobook chapter, brand new, hot off the press. I'm your emotional support animal, so that's going to be in there as well. And we're going to throw in a key locator, a sleeping mask, and 2 bottles of... Wait, how do I pronounce this? Pupari?
Poopery.
Oh, poopery. Oh, sorry.
Speaking of which.
Poopery. Sorry.
Yeah.
Now I got it. I thought it was kind of a wine or something. Yeah, poopery. We've talked about that. Spray it on the toilet. Right. Don't drink it. All right. No. And you can go to CarollaDrinks.com and get that. Yes. Sorry, Gina.
Well, Brian, I know you miss beer, so it's better off that you don't live in Germany right now, because like many breweries, Willinger Brauhaus in Germany had a surplus of beer. They couldn't sell it because all the hotels and restaurants that they sell it to are closed. So they gave it away. And when I say gave it away, they gave it away. Dozens of, not a contest, not, one lucky winner. Dozens of people stood in line outside the brewery wearing masks and standing, 6 feet apart. And at the end of the day, they took home 690 gallons of free beer, which was good for the brewery because it allowed them to empty that old stuff out, fill the tanks with the fresh stuff that they'll hopefully get to sell when things get back to normal. They had to get rid of the product. So people just waited in line all day and took it home.
I've seen tape of people, they're dumping milk, dumping produce. Like, it's really getting sad. Yes.
Aren't oil tankers just sitting in the middle of the ocean? Because you have to pump the oil out. It can't stay where it is, right?
I was literally walking around or driving around Malibu with Sonny earlier today, and he pointed out, it's like, look at that big boat way out there. And it was a tanker just sort of sitting there. So I don't know, but whatever the plan is, we should start executing it. Like, let's figure it out, and let's get back going here.
How about, have you heard where, for a while, maybe a few weeks back, we were killing cattle and chickens and pigs, and can't we? I mean, we're such a smart country. Can't we package that meat and sell it to other nations? How do we just get rid of shit like that? That's unbelievable.
I don't know. Like, we should have enough jerky to last us 5 nuclear winters when this thing is done with.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I would imagine there's so much regulation around that particular industry that you go, hey, you couldn't go, I got some extra cows. Why don't I drop them off at the Hormel place? And you guys whip up some. Like, I just, there's so much regulation that I think they probably can't do it. All right.
Yeah.
Gina, let's bring it home.
You got it. I'm Gina Grad, and that's the news.
That was the news with Gina Grad.